my name is Jetty and Lila, and I was the Deputy Secretary General of the UN. Um, and what I learned from the World Peace Game is there are different types of leaders, and I am not a leader of dictation, more of an example, because I don't like being in charge of things, but I learned that I can be, and when I do, it's easier when I have other people with me.
Can you explain what you mean by leader of dictation?
Like a leader of dictation is a person who can be very vocal and helps people by telling them what to do and helping them do that. But I lead by example, and I show them how to do it.
Ask me questions.
Well, okay, so someone who's played the game 4 times, I know you've learned different things each time. Seems to be a little bit different for you, and the lessons are kind of different. Are there any thoughts that come across your mind that you want to share?
Not exactly like that, but I will start with, I learned a very important lesson each time I played the game. The very first time I played the game was when I was a CFO of country C, the most wealthy country, and I struggled a lot during the first part of the game. I lost track of the budget many times, but in that game, I started helping my prime minister a little bit, and I found out that I really liked solving problems and crises with her, and I started doing it more and more, and I managed somehow to start multitasking between managing the budget and helping her solve crises. But I just really learned that time that I was a leader, and it changed my life. So I love the World Peace Game so much. Which was yes, Secretary General. When I played as the Secretary General of the United Nations, I had the urge to help everybody. I solved 2 crises before the game even started. I was extremely obsessed with solving crises because honestly, I'd known this class and I didn't think they could do it. This is the class
This is the time that you were helping me.
Yes, I was helping my mom, Mrs. Morial. So I wanted to help everyone and do everything. I was pretty much in charge of solving crises. But then I realized that these kids, even though I knew them, even though they were extremely silly, they were these 4th graders, 5th graders that I didn't think took anything seriously, really took the game into their hands, and it was really cool to watch, I guess, and I feel a lot of gratitude towards them now, because I know they're all going to do really amazing things, and now I've learned to take them seriously and kind of let them do their own thing instead of being such a control freak. Yeah.
And then the 3rd game was in Charlottesville with Mr. Hunter again.
Mm-hmm. In that game, I was in a country of all boys, and I was kind of intimidated because this was another game with Mr. Hunter, so my urge to solve crises kind of dissipated a little bit because I was so nervous because Mr. Hunter is just, Mr. Hunter, and he's so awesome, and I was afraid a little bit. So I kind of went back to that CFO that I was the first time I played the game. I was the Secretary of State, and I still loved solving crises, but I kind of let my prime minister do all the stuff. I mean, he would make deals without me, and I kind of let that slide. And at the end of the game, I really realized that I just really needed to. Okay, I don't know where I'm going with this.
No,
Sorry.
but speak from your heart. You're doing great.
Right now, my heart has a cold. So.
You're saying you let the Prime Minister do most of the decisions and you let it slide. And what was it like to be on a team with all boys?
It was. I got really annoyed a lot because, they're boys. They kind of do some strange things sometimes. But
he picked you first.
he picked me, which was probably the most fantastic moment ever, because he didn't know me at all, and I just felt so honored to be picked, by him, which is awesome. But he decided on a name that I didn't really like, but I let that slide because I was just trying to make a good first impression. But then I started realizing that it didn't really matter. I mean, I had to solve the world. So first impressions don't really matter. I mean, it's nice to be nice, I guess. I was still being really kind, but really, when it came down to it, I had to stop worrying about other people and what they thought and what they did, and I really just had to help myself and help the world. So that was awesome.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
What about, okay, so in our last game, this summer.
Last game this summer. Yes!
The room without air conditioning.
The room without air conditioning. I was Secretary of State again, Secretary of State Farmia, and I kind of went into that first impression thing again because I forgot. It had been a long time since I learned that lesson. But I went along with this name, State Farmia. That's how shy I was at this time. Because this was another group. The Prime Minister was a boy again. But I still had a very strong urge to solve crises. So we started going along, and this game was, for some reason, really difficult for me. Not in the way that you would expect, though. Not the way in solving crises, but I just had a hard time for some reason. Okay, hold on, let me think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Your arm must be getting tired.
No? Yes.
So this was a, even though I had kind of a hard time, it was a really fantastic game because I after the first day, no matter how times you play the game, you will be overwhelmed.
Is that true?
Oh yes, it's very true. I had almost completely forgotten about these crises, and I had made a pact to myself not to solve any crises in a way that I know they have been solved before. So I was really intimidated. But then I calmed myself down and realized that it wasn't that much when you came down to it. So I solved a lot of crises. The country I was in, Country B, didn't have a whole lot of, major crises except the new refugee crisis, which was really awesome, by the way. But there was news of the Saboteur and the Secret Empire in the game, and I thought about how fun it would be to be the Saboteur, or I decided that I was going to be a secret non-saboteur. So I was going to deter everyone from what they were supposed to do, but not by being the saboteur, by not being the saboteur. Let me rephrase that. I was trying to make everybody be so obsessed with finding the saboteur that it was so hard for them. These kids were already like ripping through the car seats. I was like, no, this is not good. We need a distraction. So I pretended to be the saboteur. I started going away in private, speaking to Miss Moyle, handing her slips of paper that were empty, and just, kind of arousing suspicion. And it just so happens that the saboteur was my best colleague in the game. She was our Minister of Defense.
Did you know it?
I didn't know it.